Many thanks, Sam, for joining. Sam Terry is a member of parliament, a pro-people politician, and member of parliament for Ilford South, and director of Momentum, a grand supporter of uh, people, especially people who are affected, who are poor and marginalized people, a great vocal for marginalized people. Many thanks, Sam Terry, for joining today. So this is a secular Bangladesh movement's online talk and conversation and music. So if you are here, I mean, couple of, I mean, we will continue a couple of hours. But how doesn't matter how long you will be here, but if you can also be entertained with wonderful music, we have some musicians in our team at this moment. So this online series is aimed to generate fund for COVID-affected people in Bangladesh. Secular Bangladesh movement is philosophically, structurally trying to develop a team with an ambition to help and support secular movement in Bangladesh, and also it also aims to help and support people and communities who are badly affected in perhaps COVID at this moment. But whoever need any humanitarian help, Secular Bangladesh movement always reaches them and tries to support and help them. So it's an honor to have you as part of this online series. I know you're a great commitment for people, and especially like I said, people who are marginalized all over the world, and your world vision, an international vision of politics. Would you like to say anything? I would be really happy if you could say a few words for the audiences who are watching at this moment.
Pleasure. Thank you to you, Brother Kayasha, and also to Pushpita for organising me to be here today. I would just like to say, first of all, look, thank you. It's a great honour to be part of your celebration. And I think that, you know, as human beings, we are finding it difficult because usually we're such social beings. And so this is fantastic that you're bringing people together, not just to talk and to see each other, but actually to have music and to feel positive about life. Because, you know, it's been a very difficult time for everybody, not just here in the UK, but of course around the world. Look, I would say that one thing that's really given me a lot of hope and made me really proud actually to come from Ilford is the fact that there have been so many people in the community, across every community. In the last couple of weeks, you know, I've done stuff with at least 3 different Bangladeshi origin organisations, people from the Sikh community, the Hindu community, the Christian community, all doing charitable work to go and support vulnerable residents at this time of this corona crisis, you know, ranging from helping people get food. You know, one of the local Sikh temples now is delivering between 4 and you know, even just this last week, I went with the Redbridge Welfare Association, which, you know, maybe some of you know, is a Bangladeshi kind of origin organisation. There's a lot of work across the whole of Redbridge. And we took a series of large amount of hot meals to one of the homeless charities. And we're also going to be doing some work with the local hospital as well. So I think the thing that's been really inspiring is that no matter how difficult things have been, we've seen some of the very best in people. The people have stepped up. And they've said, look, you know, things might be difficult. Things might be really tough at home. Things might be really difficult with my job and my business. I'm still prepared to go and give something back to the community. And I think that's fantastic. And I think that actually that kind of solidarity is exactly the sort of work that you're obviously doing through the foundation here, the Secular Foundation. And I think, you know, I would be interested in hearing more obviously about your work, particularly internationally. I know you do a lot of work around human rights, which is something that's very important to me as well. And I think, you know, I would say one more thing, and that is that, you know, MPs don't have the answers to everything, but, you know, I'm in politics because I came from being a grassroots activist. I was a peace activist in the anti-war movement. And for me, those politics that I care about, it's not about my career or any of this kind of stuff. It's about how can we actually change the lives of my friends, my family, the people I've grown up with and gone to school with in Ilford? Because actually, only by working together and showing solidarity to each other at difficult times are we able to progress forward as a society. And I think that, maybe many of your people listening might have some questions. I don't have to rush off. My next meeting's not till 6 o'clock. So I've got plenty of time to have a chat or just to hear anything you would like to say. But look, thank you for having me. And I think that, as I said, try and have hope at this difficult time. I'm glad to be part of your hopeful meeting online tonight.
Many, many, many thanks, Sam, for this wonderful, profound message as part of the series. One thing I would like to ask, actually, perhaps, how are you spending your time at this moment? Are you self-isolating, or you're still doing online activities? I know that you are not one of those career politicians. You do politics because of people and because you want to make changes. Are you still at home and doing online activities, or you?
Yeah, so I mean, truth be told, I feel that like I'm probably more busy now than I was before the lockdown. And the reason for that is, I mean, that when we realised that the crisis was really as serious as it was, one of the first initiatives I took, write a letter to every resident in Ilford who's over the age of 70. It's about 3,500 people. Obviously, it took a bit of time for the team to stuff all the envelopes and to send it out. But it was really important because we were trying to reach the people in the community that were going to be vulnerable, that were going to be most affected. And so straight after doing that, my office received probably more than 200 calls and emails directly from people in the community. Some of them just to say thank you, but some to flag up different issues. People needed medicine, people needed food. And actually, what I realised is that the community response, I've been working very closely with what's called the Mutual Aid Organisation. They were faster than the government or the council to actually put in place measures to get food and medicines to people. Sometimes the institutions they take a little bit of time to catch up. And obviously now the council's doing some fantastic work as well. And what I'd say that my day is kind of today, this is probably my fourth Zoom call. I actually did go into Parliament for only the second time in the last 8 weeks yesterday because I had some business I had to take care of. I had to appear in the chamber. And last week I went in to speak on a really important issue, which many constituents have written to me about. There was a debate on a new bill that's going through Parliament, a new piece of legislation that's about protecting victims of domestic abuse. Now, unfortunately, one of the negative sides of the coronavirus is with lots of people trapped at home, there has been an increase in domestic violence. That's something my office has been dealing with, been working with charities. But I just thought it was such an important issue. I needed to be there in person in Parliament and to make my speech. And so I went and done that. But other times I've been a bit like we are doing now, actually talking to other MPs or even appearing in the Commons chamber virtually. So that's all been set up now. In fact, this week we started testing for the very first time the ability to vote electronically, which doesn't sound like a great innovation, to be honest with you, but it would be a world first for the British Parliament to actually vote electronically, because what you have to do at the moment to vote is you have to physically walk through what are called the lobbies, yes or no, the ayes or the nays. That's the only way to vote at the moment. It's very old-fashioned, slightly ridiculous, if truth be told. So now we're going to be able to vote using our computers, and so we'll be able to carry on checking different legislation. But each week, what I'm trying to do is to do my parliamentary business. So I'm on the Transport Select Committee. So we had a big investigation around the high-speed rail. We've actually got one tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and this is all on Parliament television if you want to watch it, on the issue of airports and aviation. I've got another one on Monday. And then I also do some stuff around some of the business issues with Ed Miliband and a few other bits. So it is a busy schedule. Honestly, I think I'm probably working longer hours than I was before the crisis. But, we're here to help as much as we can, of course.
Many, many thanks. Before we end, what is the future of this lockdown, in your opinion?
Well, look, I mean, I'll just be completely honest with you because I'm a straight talking sort of politician. I think personally that the government are moving a little bit too fast towards releasing the lockdown. I think that there's a battle going on in government between those that are much more focused on the economy. They want to get all the businesses and people back to work as quickly as possible versus those that are more prioritizing saving lives. And I think it's a delicate balance, and I'll give them that. But I'm nervous that if they're going to get people going back to school, we might start to see a rise again in the transmission of the virus. And so I know it's really tough, but my instinct would be just to go a little bit slower on doing that. And then when they do it, make sure that everyone going to work has masks, protective equipment that they have. And I think that's a genuine battle going on in the government. And I think from the Labour point of view, and obviously I'm a Labour MP, we're saying, look, we need to be a bit more cautious. Teachers are not comfortable about going back to school yet. I personally would like to see schools not reopening until September. Now, I know that's difficult because people are obviously having to deal with childcare, but my priority would always be to save people's lives and that the government steps in to protect businesses and workers in terms of the economy.
True. Many, many, many thanks for joining.